Hey guys, Probable1701 here, and I thought I'd share some of the stuff that I managed to dig out with you that I found. I mentioned in my last video that I didn't have everything I'd wanted to show you here. Turns out I did have some of it here. Not all of it. Some of it's still put up in storage, but I actually went rummaging around in some of the boxes I'd packed everything in. And I managed to find some of my other Star Wars stuff that I didn't realize I had here, like my Power of the Force Darth Vader with his red lightsaber. Right there. And then got my Return of the Jedi Luke. This is my favorite Star Wars figure of all time. I absolutely love this Return of the Jedi Luke. And I never could get it when I was when it first came out, when I was little. I looked everywhere and nobody ever had it. So it was kind of when I really got back into collecting again, back in like the early to mid 2000s. It was the first one I actively looked for. I cannot find my Shadows of the Empire Luke. I have this figure as well, and I can't figure out where he is. He's probably still put up in storage. He's another one of my favorites. But I was really happy to find this one. He's kind of the pride of my collection just because he's the one I always wanted. And then I found my Bespin Luke, which actually has a different head sculpt. Most of the others share the same head sculpt, but he has a different head sculpt. Comes with his blaster and his lightsaber and a detachable hand. You see right here, his hand detaches and it has a little action slide right here as well. He's a pretty cool figure. I actually picked him up, I can't remember, it's 1, 2, 3 years ago. It all kind of blurs together, honestly. And then, of course, I have it next to the other two that we got in our trip a couple weeks ago, the X-Wing Luke and the Hoth Luke that we went over in our previous video. And that's kind of the sealed figures I dug out. I did dig out a few other things. I've got some open figures. I actually managed to find where I had this, the reissue of the Morphing Power Rangers. Not the biggest Power Rangers fans. I preferred more the actual Zords than the Rangers. But I had this figure as a kid. But I figured just for nostalgia's sake I would pick this up. So I have that kind of just to have it. Then a friend of mine gave me a good deal on this. It's the actual 90s Batmobile with the Batman. I got both of them for like 40 bucks. And these are expensive, especially this figure. He's usually pretty high. The Crime Attack Batman, I believe he's complete. And then this even comes with the box and the Batmobile. The door opens so you can sit in. It's got a extra vehicle hidden right here that can come out. So pretty nifty for 40 bucks. My friend kind of just needed a little change, and he's kind of the type of person, after a while he gets bored with stuff and he likes it to go somewhere where he knows it'll have a good home. So a lot of times he'll sell stuff to me on the cheap. I found some of my open Star Wars figures too. Like, this was my very first Power of the Force figure. I got it back when the line first came out, and I've had it all this time. You know, kind of the Tatooine Luke. I don't have their accessories here. I know exactly where their accessories are. They're put up, and I know exactly where they're put up. I don't get out that way because they're over at family's place, and I never really get out over there. I don't have time. But I still have the figures. He's still one of my favorite Lukes, too. I have my Dark Empire Luke, who actually came with a red lightsaber. This is from the graphic novel, or comic books, whatever you want to call it, Dark Empire, when Luke kind of turned, or when he kind of flirted with the dark side briefly. It's the one that has the clone of the Emperor in it. I really like the fact it also has a different head sculpt. This might be the same head sculpt on the no, different head sculpt. Okay. Yeah, I just never thought to check that. He looks really cool, though. I like that. He has kind of a sinister look to him. And, of course, I have an open Return of the Jedi Luke. As I said, it's my favorite Star Wars figure. I love his Return of the Jedi outfit and the cloak. Comes off. So, can display them without it. So that's pretty cool. And then of course I have my Dagobah one. I actually picked this one up in recent years too. I could have gotten it back when it first came out. I had it when I bought this one. It was between these two. The store had both of them. I ended up going with that one. But I like the Dagobah Luke. He's pretty cool. As I've said before, they share the same head sculpt. The Return of the Jedi one does too. They all have the same head sculpt. It's kind of funny. And I have Plo Koon right here. Newer figure, one of the Imperial soldiers. I can never remember how to pronounce his name. He's the villain from Shadow of the Empire. You know, I can say it. I can see it on paper. You know, Exar. I can never remember how to pronounce his name. And this cloak comes off too. It's removable. I always thought he was a cool figure though. He made a good villain. So I liked it. I've got my Episode 1 Obi-Wan, who also can come out of his cloak right there. So you can do that. Episode 2 Obi-Wan. I didn't really like the Episode 2 figures. They had too many gimmicks. Like this one had a magnetic saber that he could hold with the magnet right there in his hand. One of the older Stormtrooper figures from Endor. Seen better days. And of course Kit Fisto. I always liked this Kit Fisto figure. He just looks like he's ready for action. I've always liked Kit Fisto. I wish we'd had more of him in Episode 3. So these are just the ones that I have here. I've got a bunch more of them that whenever I get out to my uncle's old place, I'll try to dig them out from wherever they're boxed up. I think they're stuffed deep in the closet of the room where I lived when I was growing up. But I just wanted to kind of share these with you, because I had mentioned in my last video that I would if I could find them. And I need to put a little display for these out. I would like to do that. Anyway, this has been Probable 1701. And no, don't forget while I'm at it, while I'm thinking about it, don't forget to click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Trying to hit 1,000 subscribers. Got to get that in there, you know. Got to get that plug in there. Most importantly, though, thank you for watching.